then right at the finish there, Hungary broke away. I have to say, it's exactly as Didi had mentioned earlier. This game is going to be all decided right at the very end. There's the table. Germany equalising in the end, which means that they finish on top of the table and they remain unbeaten. Switzerland second, also unbeaten, and Hungary, by virtue of that late goal, giving them their first win of Euro 2024. My goodness, it was an awful game technically, you might say, but it was really exciting as well at the end.
Well, the last 10-15 minutes were as exciting as they come, because you had two teams who both needed a goal. End-to-end football, made up for the first 80 minutes, which wasn't very good.
I have to point out that you did say in the first half, both managers would accept if you just went right to the second half,
in a way,
or the end of the second half even.
In a way, you could say whoever had the last corner had a disadvantage, because if Hungary had the last corner, I'm sure they would have brought everybody up, maybe the keeper as well, and maybe that would have been a chance for Scotland. So they took it well, played it well, was just onside, but obviously they should have had a penalty. I don't think Scotland, what they showed tonight, probably either side doesn't deserve to go to the last 16, because it was a poor game. But how the penalty was never given, Ronnie mentioned it, I think it was a scandalous decision.
Poor games can still be exciting games. I mean, the last 10 minutes were extraordinary.
Yeah, we had to wait for the last 10-15 minutes for the game to come alive, and Didi was shouting here for Scotland to kick the ball out for a corner. He thought they might have won it, and it went the other way. They had a corner and Hungary transitioned, and Shabash was the one that came out on top in the end. Let's
have a look at the goal, actually, because, you know, we'll just add insult to injury, I suppose, for poor Scotland. They really have no luck. Look at this.
Yeah, well, they would have had a chance with a draw, but I think the 4 results had to go their way, but obviously it would have been better than having no chance. And they took it well, played the ball back. And Shabash takes it well, actually. I'm not sure he wants to play it into the corner. I think he probably wants to put it into the other corner.
That wasn't checked for offside.
He would have been checked, Tony. He would have been checked. But they played on pretty quick because it looked very close. But yeah, it's a good finish in the end. They took it well. And as I said, the draw probably would have been the right result, but they nicked it at the end. And they have hope now to go to the last 16, got 3 points, goal difference, I think, -3. I don't think they're far from guaranteed to get into the last 16, but at least they've got a chance.
Let's have a look at the penalty, because that really was the controversial moment and not given. Your view on it, Anya?
Yeah, I think we couldn't really understand why the penalty decision wasn't given at all, but here you can see that Hungary are attacking, and I think it was really frustrating for Scotland, obviously, and great save by Gunn there. And here we go, McTominay's through, little ball, Armstrong's substitute comes on, and how O'Brien gets away with that, we will never know. First we thought it might have been offside, but we go back and look from our angle, it's not offside, and he just gets his right arm around him and pulls him straight down, and that's not a penalty kick, or to go back and look at VAR, I don't know what is.
Well, he hits him here with his right knee. You can see it again maybe one more time. Orban's right knee goes into his left or right calf, and then he's got his arms around him.
But was Armstrong not pulling him as well?
No, he's ahead of him. He can't pull him, can he? He's ahead of him. And
Can we have a look at it again?
It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing when the defender comes. Obviously,
he's grabbing his shirt, though, isn't he?
No, he doesn't. No, he just
holds his left arm.
No, he just wants to make contact with him so he knows where he is. And look at Orban's right knee now. He hits him here into his left calf. He's got his arms around. This is a scandalous decision, and Steve Clarke will be going berserk in the mixed zone afterwards, because if they score their goal, I don't think there's any way Hungary comes back. They might get 1, then they're third. They've got 2 points. They probably won't come back at all, and 4 points pretty much would have guaranteed going into the next round. And we've been talking about VAR not very much so far in this tournament. But if the referee makes a mistake, if the referee thinks or deems it not to be a foul, I can accept it, even though this was pretty clear from the start that this is a foul. But if you've got people watching it 3-4 times back and they come to the conclusion that it's not a foul, then I can't understand that. And why do we bring this technology in if we don't overturn these decisions? My first initial thought was that Armstrong was offside, and that's the reason why they never checked it. But he looked onside, and
And that would have been checked, you said that?
Yeah, it would have been. They have, obviously, they have to check whether he's onside first, and then they have to check whether it's a foul. We've never been told it's a potential penalty check, which is astonishing. And I just can't believe they never gave the penalty. I think it's an outrageous decision, and he cost Scotland a place in the last 16.
And what about the notion of the referee, the Argentine referee, coming from a different federation into a European Championship? Is he used to the way the game is refereed in Europe?
Well, I would like to think that this is a penalty in Argentina, and he probably wouldn't get out of the stadium if he doesn't give a penalty at Boca Juniors. Yeah, I don't know. I quite like the thought, but then again, they've got different standards. But, this is, obviously, there's small decisions where you can argue should have been given, should have not. But this is so obvious. The referee could have come from anywhere in the world, whether it's Africa, South America, or from, it doesn't matter. It's a penalty, full stop.
OK. Time for a quick break, but we'll be back with reaction and analysis of Scotland's defeat against Hungary. The Tartan Army, crestfallen, but clearly distraught. Gosh, they've no luck. It really is extraordinary. If they had ducks, they'd drown.
Well, I wouldn't say it's down to luck. Obviously, a penalty decision, is that luck? It shouldn't be down to luck whether a penalty like this is given. Over the 3 games, they didn't do enough to justify a place in the last 16. I don't think they've been good enough. I expected a bit more. Yes, they missed some players just before the Euros, and obviously Dykes was always going to be a big miss. But, in a game where you had to win, for both teams to just nullify each other for 80 minutes and then obviously start playing. And I think in the 80 minutes we didn't, or 85 minutes, we never had one goal scoring opportunity. And obviously, I think today you saw that Scotland, or both teams, got huge deficiencies going forward. And unfortunate with a penalty decision, but over the 3 games, you've got to say they haven't been good enough.
On a technical level, was it the worst game we've seen at these championships?
Potentially, I think neither side brought much quality, especially in the final third and attacking threats. We were waiting for, like Didi mentioned, the last 10-15 minutes for the game to open up, and we're hoping someone would take their opportunity then. Either that or it was just going to be from a set piece, was going to be their best opportunity to score.
In terms of chances, did Hungary shade it, would you say?
Only slightly. I think the chances fell to... These are the chances from Hungary. We spoke about set pieces, the ball comes in the back post and just deflects over the bar, and again they were so dangerous, I suppose, on the counter. You had Solani, and this is just a great forced a chance save from Gunn, and again this is just one where it breaks out, and Josh Bosch, who got the goal in the end, and it forces a save from Gunn again, and they had one more that went off the post. So you can see now how opened up the game is, and this is the dying few minutes, and this is obviously unlucky not to go in, and Scotland went down the other end, had a corner, and were punished.
Didi, can you try and explain how it's possible for Hungary to still stay alive in this tournament?
Well, they didn't concede many chances today. I don't think, even when the game opened up, I don't think there was one opportunity for Scotland where they say, oh, they should have scored there, or they had to score. And Scotland and Hungary probably had 2 or 3 chances. And again, this is a team that's been unbeaten for a long time. Maybe they lost a bit of confidence after the Ireland game. Tough group, probably tougher than it looked on paper. And if they go into the next round, which is a possibility now, they will fancy their chances. They've got nothing to lose. The target was always to get to the last 16. They will play a group winner. I doubt that there's a group winner out of the 6 groups. They've got a chance beaten. But then again, you never know. They're still there, and Scotland isn't.
There was one moment that I suppose scared us all. We all remember the Christian Eriksen moment at the last European Championships, and Barnabas Varga sadly has left the field on a stretcher. We believe he's okay, and he's recovering, I hope, in an emergency room in Stuttgart. But gosh, it scared us all, and it clearly scared the Hungarian players as well. I mean, they seem to want to react much quicker than the medical staff, which was worrying in itself.
Yeah, it was very strange because the emergency people with a stretcher, they walked onto the pitch 2, 3, 4 minutes after it happened, and obviously, it's very important that you get first aid and that there's people there straight away. And it was very worrying seeing seeing him like
seeing
this.
Shabbos lie there wearing the Varga shirt, you think
and
that...
obviously it will get them closer together. We can just hope that he's okay, that we can only wish him all the best. And it was very hard to see how he's been, what happened really, because the camera angle is too far away. Well, keeper...
I think they decide not to show in case it's something serious, and I understand that as well.
But there must have been some contact somehow. But yeah, it was worrying, but fingers crossed he's okay.
Okay, well, Scotland captain Andy Robertson there, and to give him credit, it's a tough one to do, an interview like that after a crushing defeat like that. You've had to do those sort of interviews a few times as well. I think he handled himself very well there. Yeah,
he did. I think he was very honest in how he summed up the game, similar to what we're saying. Here they dominated possession, didn't really have much cutting edge, went for it at the end, conceded on the counter-attack, and it's going to hurt for quite a while, and obviously got it for them all.